What's going on, traders? Welcome back to another video. I want to go over my daily recap of how I made $400 in just one trade, keeping it simple, showing great patience through our New York Open, not seeing the setups that I want, avoiding the ones that I know I don't want, and taking the best setup that I've been taking the past few months, right out of Futures 2.0. So if you haven't seen that course, go to ASFX TV. You can sign up for a free trial and get access to the course as well as the live streams. But really just keeping it simple, I want to go over all the markups that we had today because there was a few that were losers, like I mentioned. And we're going to look at ES and NQ. I made a video about it a while ago of which asset is better. Today will be a good video for you to decide as well. So here's my trade on NQ. Looking at it, it's a nice clean break. High day VWAP after bouncing off New York VWAP not once, but twice, and even a higher low into the second break. But Evan, why not take this first break? I mean, buyers are stepping in there as well, and you absolutely could, and you'd have a stop at structure, which would hold, and you still get the same win. Now, what's feeding this bias is one, the clear bullish trend we're having so far, higher highs and higher lows. We'll go over some trades that I didn't want, but also just to look at the initial balance. I talk about it on Edgefill all the time that we get our first break here of the initial balance high, that it's only now 20 to 30, I think it's like 27% chance that we double break that initial balance in the past 6 months. So I would rule out any drop all the way down to this bottom because that would be double breaking it, and that probably doesn't want to happen. As well as the 15-minute doesn't look like that wants to happen either. We're having strong bullish trend pre-market here through the open, so why would I believe that it wants to go lower anyways? I'm not. So I'm just going to read and react to the trend. I didn't want to buy it over here as we're just drifting higher. These are small little pullbacks, not off a key level. I would have loved for it to come down a little bit lower to that New York VWAP. Doesn't happen right then and there. It happens a couple hours later. So it's good to be patient, not jump into something that I don't need there and wait for my best setup. And thankfully, it did give it to me. So I didn't need to take any losses. And again, this is on NQ. Now, this is now the 15-minute view of things, right? The left side. What is telling me we're going to be bearish today at any moment? Nothing. So I'm not going to just predict that and be fearful of that. I'm just going to ride the structure, bounce off a key level, and look to continue this trend. Now, one note I make all the time, I said a small pullback. I don't really love this pullback or this pullback because it's not a pullback in my book. Well, if you look on the left side here, I want to be able to see these pullbacks on a 15-minute chart, a higher time frame chart. Otherwise, we're not really pulling back, right? But we have a nice, finally, at least one bearish candle closing the gap between current price action and the daily view up. So now it's not as far away or overextended. I could actually see us pulling back on the 15-minute. Now maybe buyers are ready to step back in. Let's go continue trend, right? But this right here is all the same 15-minute candle, and it's still painting as a bullish one on the 15. It never really pulled back. But this on the 15-minute is going to show as a red bar. We actually did indeed pull back for more than 15 minutes and for more than like 5 to 10 points. So it is a breath in the market. Now, this is the first trade I was saying I didn't want because what are we off of? We're not off a key level. Do I think we go higher today? Yes. But that doesn't mean I could just sacrifice what my plan is to just get into the market. It does break the higher day view up. You get maybe a good stop at structure. Let's go continue trend. Doesn't happen. It returns to the key level that I wanted to anyway. So it would have been foolish to take this trade and lose because this is actually what I would have wanted later on. So I don't need to take that early loss. Just fearful we're going to keep on drifting without me. Now looking over here, as I mentioned, the initial balance double break. So same thing. This is the first break here on ES. That first markup was NQ. We broke one side, so we probably don't want to break this downside now. So I'm just going to keep on looking for longs. Now, this is where the conversation was on Twitter of why not take this first break here on ES. They were also asking about it on NQ. We could probably just go to the charts for that one. On the right, we have NQ. On the left, we have ES. If I just zoom it in here, this is that first break here on ES where I'm looking at NQ at the time, right? Because above my head now, we do get a nice strong break. So buyers are in. Why aren't I buying that? Well, because I'm also looking at ES at that same time. Buyers aren't really fully in over there. So I want them to be in on both assets to be surely confident that buyers are in. We're going to be ready to move higher now. So I wait. I don't get into NQ yet because ES doesn't look quite ready, right? Just those subtleties and discretion that I'm using to watch both assets, wanting buyers to be in on both. I avoid this pullback. I see ES get back above its high day and NQ get back above its high day over here above my head. Higher low over here. That's why I chose NQ. And that's also why I didn't take this first break, right? I think that makes sense. Hopefully you guys found value in that because just those little subtleties you probably don't even think to look at. And it's not the biggest deal in the world, but sometimes it does save me from getting in too early because if buyers were to be able to not hold this super strongly and we actually do come lower, I would have looked silly getting into NQ maybe a little bit too early before buyers were in on both assets. So I definitely would recommend going to check that out if you are ever unsure on the trend and the direction you want to go. Now, this isn't the trade I took. We went over that one. This is my trade. Clean, simple, 1R, off a key level. Screenshot it, save it. It's honestly beautiful. This one's later on in the afternoon. Now, retesting that initial balance after a nice steady pullback, definitely taking more time, like 45 minutes. It's going to show up on the 15-minute as some red candles. It's off a key level. It's a break of high a day. But what time is it? It's 2:43. Now, could this pop higher? Absolutely. We've made new highs in the last hour of the day sometimes, but statistically, we don't like to make a new high a day or low a day in that final hour of the day. So I don't really want to ask for a new one and hope today is one of those days that we do. But I'll give it to you. It is off a key level. It is a break of a high a day. The trend is clearly bullish. So if you take that loss, probably just have to eat it. Now, since I don't want to make a new high a day, or I'm not expecting a new high day to be made, well, then I probably don't want to be chasing breakouts. I probably want to be trying to get the best price possible on like a pullback or a price play, right? So buying it off of the bounce off this initial balance somewhere in along here with a stop loss below New York, notice how I can get 1R whether we make a new high a day or not. So I could be out of this trade and we could fall back over. I don't care. I'm already out, right? I can make my money in a small amount of move and not ask for a breakout and to run for new highs, and I could still win. So that's what I would be looking for in these later hours of the day. Because if we go back to the charts here, make this big screen. This is ES here on the left. This is yesterday's price action in the last hour of the day. Put on a high a day VWAP. You get in when buyers take it. It does make a new high. So it does happen, absolutely. But how many times out of 100? Or what's more probable, that we make a new high or we don't make a new high, right? So yesterday it worked. Today, if you were to buy the breakout over here, you can see the markups are still on my chart. It wouldn't have worked. It comes back down a little bit in the afternoon. Go to the 15-minute. Does it look like a bearish day? No, I mean, it was probably just super, super high because look at this run up just all morning into the afternoon from pre-market overnight. That's very high. This just looks like a nice healthy pullback to start over the changeover of day, and then maybe we're bullish tomorrow. I don't know if we're going to end the day at new highs. I doubt it. But that was today's trading. Simple, waiting for that best setup. If you've been following along, you should know that the trades, the P&Ls might look a little bit smaller because now they're not copied to an account. This is just 400 per account because I'm just trading one account a day with heavier risk, right? I was normally shooting for like that 200 per day on each account. Now it's heavier risk per trade. I would like to make 500 per trade, a little less than that today, but I am trading with Tradeify now. So if you do want to buy an account with them, they're straight to sim funded. That's what I'm doing. These 50K accounts here. You can actually use my code Evan Dyer for 30% off or 50% off if you want to go with the challenge accounts, the growth ones here. But I think the straight to funded are the way to go just to get straight into those payout phase and start building that account balance. So if you do want to go with them, I highly recommend it. I'll be trading with them throughout this rest of the month, next month, right? Looking to take payouts on them pretty quickly because I'm going to be trying to use bigger size and less conservative, like 200 per day. So if you go check that out. And like I mentioned, with all these trades taken, I'm proud of us of what we all did on stream this morning. We stayed patient, not chasing these longs. You could have maybe made some money. I mean, it was so dry today. It was moving like 5 points. I think the entire range was like 25 on ES, which is very small. That would be a good size of a healthy New York opening range. But stayed patient, got the same price that you could have bought it at over here, right? But just the timing of it, you're able to get more of the move and less of that pullback, which would have been drawdown. So just rinse and repeat. My best setups, all taught here, like I said, in Futures 2.0 and ASFX TV. So if you want, sign up for a free trial with this. You can go through the course over the weekend, a couple days. It's only a couple hours. Then come over to the live streams and trade the setups that we take in those courses like we did today. So definitely go sign up for that. I'm excited to trade the rest of the week, being back from Dallas, taking all those lessons we learned and implementing them for the rest of the month. I'll be traveling next week. We'll be doing the same thing, full stream schedule, full everything. So I appreciate you tuning in. Hope you guys found value in it. If you have any questions, always feel free to reach out. But other than that, trade safe, and I'll see you guys on the charts tomorrow morning.